Hey guys, this is John. I'm playing timofonica in the 5-minute pool on ICC. Let's open with knight f3 in this game. 23-11 is my opponent's rating. Play c4, move 2. We have a symmetrical English on our hands. Okay, and we're going to get a system with a double fianchetto actually from black. All right, I'll play d4. We'll go into this line. This is mainline stuff. Rook d1 should be played. Been a while since I played the white side of this setup. So bishop e3 and yeah, rook c8. Okay, I'm trying to remember what to do. I want to play rook ac1 first. The queen comes over to h4 in this line, but you don't want to do it too soon because then they have some extra opportunities with h6. Okay, so this is now mainline stuff. Rook c7. Yeah, this guy knows how to play this line. All right, so I last had this in an OTB game about 2 years ago. And I played either bishop h3 or g4. One of those two moves. Point of rook c7 is to enable queen b8, by the way. So look for black to do that. I'm going to play bishop h3. Because I think if g4, h6 is a good reply, as I recall. So bishop h3, you're actually, you're creating some threats on d7, not immediately. But you can try to play g4 thereafter when they can't play h6. On the previous move, if g4, h6, bishop takes h6, they could trade on h6, bishop takes h6, queen takes h6, and then take on g4 with the knight. So this is one way of playing for white to avoid that. I'm just going to check out my opponent's stats real quick. Strong player. Peak 5-minute rating of 25.58. I don't recall this player, so I think this is our first meeting. Yeah, queen b8. Seems like an odd position for the queen, but they're trying to take and then play b5 is the point. So do I continue with g4? g4, bishop takes f3, e takes, b5, g5. Yeah, then my knight gets into d5. I think that's good. Let's do it. I'm going to pre-move this. He might take and then play knight e5 is another option. So we'll see what he's up to. Yeah, he does take in knight e5. Okay, so hitting this pawn. I probably want to bring the bishop back to g2 now. Yeah, let's do it like that. Could play queen g3, but I think this is better. I don't know if my bishop will have much of a future on that other diagonal. Okay, so b5, aggressive, advancing. What if I just play g5 now? All right, let's do it. So the point is, if the knight moves away, I can play knight d5, or I can play f4, maybe, and chase the other knight. Because usually this knight would run away to h5, which I have a feeling he'll do. So which one to move after that? Knight h5, play f4, or do I play knight d5? What's my best bet? Kind of thinking knight d5 because it looks a bit more forcing. Knight h5, knight d5, rook d7, f4. Maybe he can play e6 then? I have knight b6. No, he's going to sack something. Okay. Well, that's a sacrifice that we must accept. There's no other way to play that. My queen's under attack. Bishop g5, perhaps? A trade of dark square bishops seems like it would be good for me. Yeah. Bishop here, trade, trade. He takes b3. I take back. He takes with the queen. That's a lot of pawns. It's the only thing. My queen helps guard c1 in that case, though. That's kind of nice. All right, that looks reasonable. I think that continuation's all right. Maybe moving the queen would have been okay as well. I don't know. The queen e4 quite possibly could have been better there. So that after take and take, I could have gone knight d5. We'll see. So now if I go knight d5, they take c1. Yeah, I don't know about that line for me. They're going to be able to grab an awful lot of pawns now. They didn't take on b3. Interesting. So knight d5 now? Or bishop can't play bishop h3. That loses the game to knight takes f3 check. All right, knight d5. So if they take, I'll probably take back right away. I don't think I'll take on e7 first. Although take e7, maybe I can do that. Take e7, king g7, take there. Actually, that looks okay. Yeah, let's play it that way. If they go king f8, I can take c1. Oh, no. I just miscalculated. They have that move. Forgot about that one. That's really poor calculation on my part. All right, now I have to do this. Yeah, and they're going to win the piece back. I'm going to take e7. Now I got to go here and try to make something of this. But now it's, yeah, black's actually up a pawn here. Oops, move order mistake. Yep, should have taken back on c1 first. Forgot about king f8. All right, let's check him here. Let's bring this here. Just centralize the queen, attack d6, maybe probe him with queen to h8. I would expect king g8 now to cover that square. They're not reacting to that. So if check king e7, I can't win. But I can play bishop c6 if I want. Let's play that. Attack the knight. Got some activity. At a minute 03, I gotta be careful about that. So check king e7, take h7. He wins this at the end. All right, let's just come back here. He wants a trade.
Check.
We're not going to give him a trade. I'm going to come here. That d pawn is running though. All right, now I just got to hurry. But I have botched this game up quite a bit. Got to play fast. Keep the commentary to a minimum. Oh, there's that. Just a direct attack there. Yep, that's pretty bad, I would say. I can't get my queen back to defend that square.
Time warning.
Just check. Check. I mean, I'm busted, though. He can go to f8. f8 and then escape through g7. Yeah. Okay. Been doing poorly in these blitz games lately. That was just a move order mistake. Just, I didn't take into account king f8 when I took on e7. Let's go back and have a look at this one. So it started off as a symmetrical English. Started life as a symmetrical English. And then it went to this double fianchetto system, which I played as black on a couple occasions over the board. And it's kind of a robust defense. I like it for black. You have to really know what you're doing. Move orders are very important in this line. So the way I'm developing as white right here is standard. I mentioned that the queen usually comes to h4, but the thing is you don't want to do it before they castle. Because if you play like queen h4 now, they might play h6, using the rook on h8 to help guard this pawn, and then continue with g5, and the queen is not comfortable here. So both sides play like as many useful moves as they can before black castles, and then as soon as they castle, then you whisk your queen away to h4. Because once they're castled, this knight is threatening to move because it's covered by the king on g8. The king is covering the bishop, that is. So like now, like knight e4 is a threat, for instance, or knight d5. Whereas before, if they had, made some move like that, their bishop on g7 is just liable to hang. So castle, queen h4, and then, yeah, rook c7. This idea, rook c7, and especially the move queen b8, sometimes people think queen b8 is really weird, but it's normal in this line. So I went bishop h3 and then here. So the point is, like, let's say white plays, I don't know, just some typical move in this position. Let's say they play bishop h6. Black is going to play b5. And it looks like this move might hang a pawn because c takes b5, a takes b5, knight takes b5. But in fact, that backfires pretty hard on white because of rook takes c1, rook takes c1, and then bishop takes f3. And the point of queen b8 has been revealed. It's a discovered attack on the knight on b8, not b5. So in a way, queen b8 just helps black prepare the b5 move, and that's why it's better than queen a8, which seems like a more logical way to create threats, like set up a queen-bishop battery. But queen b8, as I mentioned, I'm pretty certain I've played this position before. So g4, I'm going to add the engine. Yeah, I think maybe I faced the move e6 before in this position, and then I went knight d4. I had a game against player about maybe 2200 USCF in this line, and I think they played e6. E6, if white takes on d6, there's some sort of reply. Yeah, I think it's just rook takes c4 with a discovered attack here. And black is okay in these complications. In fact, this is pretty excellent for black. They're at least equal. So I'm pretty sure e6 is the move I faced, which is kind of helpful in ruling out a knight d5 move. But my opponent here took on f3 and then played knight e5. I returned the bishop to g2. They went b5. I played g5. So far, it looks like I'm playing perfect. And then he decided to sack a piece. He probably saw that if this knight moves away, then he's allowing stuff like knight d5 followed by f4 or vice versa. I probably would have done it this way. Yeah, and his pieces are becoming all crowded. This is not good for black. So he took on c4, maybe a good gamble to make. Take, bishop takes. I played bishop g5, offered a bishop trade. We traded. Take b3, I took back. And then he doubled up. I thought on this move, what was I thinking? I think for a while I was looking at queenie back to e3, but that doesn't seem good. Maybe I can play knight d5? Yeah, I could do knight d5 here. This is actually kind of how I thought the game might go. Rook takes c1, and here I could take on e7 check. There's no issue with king f8. Moreover, I can even take with the rook. Yeah, I just got my wires crossed in the calculation here. Take, take. Rook fc8 for some reason surprised me a little bit, even though it's perfectly normal. Like double up the rooks with tempo on the knight. And I played knight d5. He took.
Check.
Yeah, and then that's a big mistake. I should just play, yeah, like a recapture. Rook takes c1. And then after take, whoops. Take,
check.
Queen takes. Again, I wouldn't want to take e7 because of king f8, but queen takes, and he's got 2 pawns for the piece. If he takes b3, I win e7, so definitely white's the one pushing here. Although, I'll admit, with white's pawn structure, this could be tough to win. I have some weaknesses.
Check.
But yeah, this is bad. I think I also missed that maybe I could even play knight takes
check.
g6 in this case if I wanted to grab another pawn. So for some reason, that's possibly even worse for me than the game, but why would that be? H takes g, rook takes c1,
check.
rook takes, queen takes. Oh, because I lose this at the end. Okay. So maybe that's actually kind of similar. Yeah, queen takes b3. Similar or worse.
Check.
So I took here and tried to play this position, but I was down about a minute on the clock, and I was down a clear pawn too. And his pawn structure is much better, so this is, for all intents and purposes, pretty tough to hold. I thought maybe with queen d4 and looking into putting the queen on h8, I had something, but turns out this is not even that big of a threat. He can run to e7, and a trade is not good for me. If I take h7, I just assumed he would take here and have a runaway a pawn. So, yeah, bishop into c6, and I was just floundering at the end.
Check.
Just trying for something, some sort of counterplay, but it never materialized. Yeah, queen a8 might be better. Hold the bishop and look towards the a pawn a little bit. That way, at least if they move the knight, like knight here, I can give a check, and f7 is vulnerable. It's something, at least. But as played, they did a good job of preventing any sort of counterplay. And quickly finishing me off after knight g4, attack on f2. So I think the opening was well played by both sides. Maybe for him, this bishop takes f3, knight e5 plan is not the best, and I think he mistimed b5. If black's best course of action is to sack a piece like he did, I got to believe this is in white's favor. And this goes to show you why move orders are like so important in chess. And when you're calculating, like often two move orders will look similar, but you know, you always have to try to discern the differences if they're available, because even like changing one slight thing could throw off everything. Like in this case, I lost the game because I didn't consider that he might play king f8. I thought he'd have to play king g7. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.